Good morning, everyone, and welcome to AUTV. My name is Franklin Samira. Coming up your way with news at 6. Today is Thursday, 5th February 2026. The headlines. KJTR market traders demand refund of money over Milled Lane eviction. Kentucky Terrier deserves airport naming. Gun matters protocol chief. Minority calls for revisit of Akufo-Addo's proposal to rename Eugene after J.B. Dankwa. Wontumi trial, prosecution closed case, court gives accused 14 days to file submission of no case. I know his mind, character and love of Ghana. Akufo-Addo backed Bawumia after MPP victory. News in details. Traders who operated along the middle lane of KJTR market in Kumasi are demanding refunds of monies they claim were collected by management before their eviction. The affected traders alleged that they were charged between 3,000 Ghana cedis and 6,000 Ghana cedis each to secure trading space along the middle lane of the market. In total, about 400 traders were later evicted on grounds that the area constitutes an emergency access route and was not designated for trading. Leader of the aggrieved traders, Isaac Opong, claimed the payments were made on the instruction of the operations management of Kumasi Market Limited. Prince Nyako, another group leader, Akwesi Ayin, and the traders are deeply frustrated. Nothing that the financial losses extended beyond the initial payments made. The traders insist that since they have been barred from operating at the location, the management must immediately refund the monies alleged collected. Prince Nyako declined to comment on the matter. However, management of the markets has denied claims that any money was taken from the traders, further heightening tensions. The situation remains unresolved as the traders await intervention from the relevant authorities. Chief of Protocol Communication of the GAM Matters, Ambassador Sylvester Paka-Alote, has proposed that Ghana's main international airport be named after the late GAM paramount ruler, Kentucky Terrier, in recognition of his significant contributions to Accra and the Ghana state. Speaking in an interview on the Joy FM's Top Story, Ambassador Paka-Alote said ongoing discussions about renaming the airport should take into account distinguished traditional leaders whose legacy reflects the history and identity of the capital. I personally think that somebody like Kentucky Terrier has done a lot as a chief and as an overlord of Accra. And if his name were to be used, it would be very appropriate, he said. He stressed that any decisions to rename the airport must be approached with caution and guided by broad consultations, particularly with the Regional House of Chiefs, to ensure consensus among traditional authorities. The change should be something that is done in consultation with the Regional House of Chiefs, and our traditional leaders can come to a consensus on the type of name to be raised, he explained. Ambassador Paka-Alote further noted that since the airport is situated on Garland, it is only appropriate that the custodians of the land play a central role in determining a suitable name. Minority Chief Whip Frank Anodompare has renewed calls for a national conversation on renaming the University of Ghana in honor of the late statesman and scholar Dr. J.B. Dankwa. Speaking in Parliament, the Nsawam Ajoju MP expressed disappointment over the backlash and the attracted. The proposal first advanced by former President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo previously faced strong public resistance. which Mr. Anodampare describes as a stiff opposition. Speaking in Parliament, the Nsawam Ajodri MP expressed disappointment over the backlash in the idea attracted. I was struck when a call of University of Ghana to be named after J.B. Dankwa received a lot of apprehensions and even condemnations. He said, "It saddened my heart that such a personality would be treated the way he was treated." He cautioned against that he described as an unnecessary tendency to pitch the legacy of Dr. Dankwa against that of Ghana's president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Oftentimes, we yield to his tendency of drawing a wedge between Dr. J.B. Dankwa and Kwame Nkrumah, which in my view is totally unnecessary. They are all achieved significant accomplishments in their own right, he urged. His remarks followed a commemorative statement read on the floor of Parliament by Abuakwa South MP Kingsley Ajimai, who praised Dr. J.B. Dankwa as a national figure whose legacy transcends partisan politics. Which clerks of Parliament, professional bodies, academic institutions, and others converge in the assessment of one man, then history itself has rendered it vindictive, Mr. Ajimai said. He describes Dr. J.B. Dankwa as a man whose life and work are acknowledged with respect even by those who oppose him politically. The statement also referred Dankwa's imprisonment under the Preventive Detention Act, describing it as a lasting reminder of the fragility of civic liberty. The experience of J.B. Dankwa remains his house that the erosion of liberty rarely announces itself loudly, the statement noted, adding that honoring him should serve as a safeguard against repeating such dark chapters in Ghana's history. While supporting recognition of J.B. Dankwa's contributions, NDC MP of Presimintim Fifi Philip Bachman called for a more inclusive approach of honoring Ghana's founding figures. He acknowledged Dankwa's role in naming the country, noting that Ghana derived its name from the ancient Ghana Empire based on his scholar proposal. However, Mr. Bachman cautioned against honoring his historical figures solely along political lines. We should not only cherish people according to their political slides, he said, calling for recognition of Dr. George Alfred Pargrant, financier of the United Gold Coast Convention. I will call upon my brothers that they should also celebrate the UGCC financier, Dr. Pargrant, he added. As debate on the issue resurfaces, Mr. Anodampare considered that honoring national forebears needed to be limited to renaming institutions. He suggested that the Ghana Tourism Authority could explore innovative ways to promote and preserve the legacy of Dr. J.B. Dankwa for national and international audience. The prosecution has closed its case in the trial of Bernard Anchibuasiakon, Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, and his company, Akonta Mining Company Limited, who were facing multiple charges related to alleged illegal mining activities. The prosecution cases concluded after its fourth and final witness, an expert from the Minerals Commission, completed his testimony under cross-examination by Andy Apiakubi, concealed of Mr. Buasiakon, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi. During a cross-examination, the witness told the court that the Minerals Commission had no record of any permits relating to the accused persons that had been raised during trial. As far as the accused persons are concerned, there is no record regarding the permits being referred to his matter. The witness stated, adding that any evidence to the contrary would fall under provisions of the Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 2019 at 955. Mr. Appiah-Kubi further put it to the witness that there was no lawful assignment between Akonta Mining Company Limited and Henry Okum, one of the prosecution witnesses, to the knowledge of the Minerals Commission of or any other state agency. In response, the witness maintained that his testimony merely restated his earlier witness statement, suggesting that operating without requisite licenses permit authority constitute a criminal offense under the Act 995. Our work often brings us to contact with persons acting in violation of the minerals and mining laws, and such conduct, operating without a license, permit or authority has been criminalized by the Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 2019 to hold the court. Following the close of prosecution's cases, Defense Counsel applied for 4 weeks to file a submission of no case.
Aba enti saa disrede ne dia to court ne say ye be nkrata e da bedom court ne kire say submission of no case to answer to the accused person no e hu yempo say court be free no say o mbegina adaka say obebodi nkru ana so okofa dance fobi aba enti saa disrede ne dia to court ne ni court aye say na ka ye pebosome court no aye say wa maye na wotwi ebienu eti ebekọ na ya yesa hyehyeye no se yetimi wie a yebeba ya timi wie a yebeba e da desede abeto court ni se o ma yebre na yetimi wie na yemfasa asem no ebeto court ni na court mfa ni bu a embra na yehu se dia ekuma sibre.
12 passengers are in critical condition following a 3-vehicle constellation at Gomwa Amanfi on the Winneba-Mankesim Highway. The accident involved a Toyota Vosi passenger vehicle with registration number GN9883-25 at Nisa Alentima with registration number GW1895-09. And a Hyundai Elantra saloon car with registration number GR1972-15. Preliminary information indicates that the Toyota Vosi, which was transporting passengers from Kaswa to Cape Coast, attempted a wrongful overtaking non-wave and collided head-on with the Nissan Altima traveling in the opposite direction. Moments after the initial impact, the Hyundai Elantra crashed into the Toyota Vosi, compounding with severity of accidents. 8 passengers aboard the Toyota Vosi sustained critical injuries, while 4 occupants of the Nissan Altima were also seriously injured, bringing the total number of casualties to 12. All the injured persons were pushed to the Winneba Trauma and Specialized Hospital, where they are currently receiving emergency medical care. Personnel from the Winneba Police Commander and officers of the Ghana National Fire Service from AMPAM responded promptly to the scene to conduct rescue operations and clear the road to erase traffic congestions. Investigations into the causes of the accident are ongoing. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has reaffirmed the government committed to reshaping Africa's economic future through a reset agenda aimed at building prosperity with the content rather than exporting its potential abroad. Speaking at the 2026 African Prosperity Dialogues in Accra, the Vice President said Africa must break away from cycles of dependency and fragmentation and instead pursue self-reliance, deep integration, and inclusive growth. The idea of a reset is to move us from dependency to self-reliance, from fragmentations of integration, from exporting potential to building prosperity at home, he stated. Professor Opoku-Agyeman noted that Africa's long-standing vision of becoming a single integrated economic space remains incomplete, stressing that the continent's future prosperity depends on the collective progress. Our borders should connect us, she said, adding, and meaningful economic transportation cannot be achieved in Africa. Countries continue to operate in isolation. He highlighted Ghana's effort to bring historical and economic dividers across the continent through initiatives such as the Year of Return, the Pan-African Festival of Art and Culture, the Diaspora Summit, all of which aim to strengthen ties between Africa and its global diaspora. The Vice President and the Chairperson further emphasizes the need of cooperation grounded in dignity, equity, and mutual benefits, referencing the renewal commitments by African states at the second AU CARICOM Summit held in Addis Ababa last year.
The idea of a reset is to move us from dependency to self-reliance, from fragmentation to integration, from exporting potential to building prosperity at home. The vision of Africa as a single integrated economic space remains unfinished. Whether this reflects the constraints of imagination or the execution, we must remember what is at stake, and that is prosperity for Africa's people. Our borders should connect us.
Chairperson,
Africa's development must be driven by its people, drawing on the full potential of its women and youth. Africa's single market is rooted not only in policy, but in history, in struggle, and in collective aspiration. Africa's
Former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo has publicly endorsed the new Patriotic Party's newly elected flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, describing him as a loyal party stalwart with a deep love of Ghana and determination to lead the party back to power. The endorsement was contained in a posture on Wednesday following a courtesy call on the former president by Dr. Bawumia and his wife, Samira Bawumia, after his victory in the MPP's presidential primaries held on the 31st January 2026. Reflecting on their long-standing political partnership, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo recalls selecting Dr. Bawumia as his running mate 18 years ago, a decision that saw them campaign together through 4 successive elections. I know his mind and his character and his love for Ghana and his appetite for the hard work. He is loyal to the party and country, the former president stated. He expressed confidence that with the support of the party's grassroots and the continued backing of its financiers, Dr. Bawumia possesses the leadership qualities needed to return the MPP to government, which, with the full support of our rank and file and continued generosity of our supporters, I know that he will lead us back to victory, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo added. Dr. Bawumia's victory in the January 31st, 2026 primary secured him the mandate to lead the MPP into the next general elections, as the party positions itself to reclaim power following its defeat in the 2024 general elections. The Ghana reference rate, a key benchmark, was used by commercial banks in pricing loans, declined marginal to 14.58% in February 2026 and in 15.68% in January. The reduction was derived by improvements in key microfinancial indicators used in calculating the GRR, notable the monetary policy rate, Treasury bill rate, and interbank market rate. The following variables informed the February 2026 GRR determination. 91-day Treasury bill rate 11.19% end of January. Interbank rate 14.91% January average. Monetary policy rate 15.5%. Sources indicated that the recent cut in the Bank of Ghana's monetary policy rate to 15.5% played a significant role in driving the decline in the February GRR. Background: the Ghana reference rate was last reviewed downloaded on the 7th January 2026 when it was reduced from 15.9% in December 2025 to 15.68%. In December 2025, the GRR declined to 15.9%, the following a 350 bias points cut in the monetary policy rate to 18%, alongside a marginal easing in the Treasury bill rate. Earlier, in November 2025, the rate had edged up slightly to 17.96% from 17.86%, reflecting increases in Treasury bill and interbank rates. Overall, the GRR trended downward through 2025, falling sharply from 29.72% in January to 19.67% by August, as monetary conditions gradually introduction to the GRR. The Ghana reference rate was introduced in 2017 by the Bank of Ghana in collaboration with the Ghana Associations of Banks as a transparent and uniform benchmark of determining lending rates. The initiative followed extensive consultations and replaced the previous rate system to promote transparency, consistency, and fairness in loan pricing. The major GRR announced in April 2017 stood at 16.82%. Implications of borrowers. The last decline in the GRR could provide modest relief to borrowers in the coming months. Loans constructed in February 2026 under the variable interest rate are expected to be benchmarked against the new GRR, potentially resulting in a lower interest charge compared to the previous month. However, borrowers with fixed rate loans will not benefit from the adjustment. Those on variable rates may experience only marginal changes, depending on individual bank pricing models. Given that the GRR serves as a benchmark for loan pricing, commercial banks may review lending rates downward from January 2026 levels, which average around 22%. The decline comes amid persistent tight credit conditions as businesses continue to grapple with a liquidity squeeze driven by measures aimed at curbing inflation and stabilizing the economy. President of Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Stephen Miezin, has warned that the main challenge facing businesses extends beyond high borrowing costs to limit access to credit. He cautioned that resisted financing from commercial banks has already contributed to the collapse of some firms. Headlines recaps. KJT market traders demanding refund of money over middle lane eviction. Kentucky Terrier deserves airport naming. Gamate's protocol chief. Minority calls for revisit of Akufo-Addo's proposal to rename Eugene after Dr. J.B. Dankwa. Wontumi trial. Prosecution closes case. Court gives accused 14 days to file submission of no case. 12 in critical condition in accident involving 3 cars at Gomoa Amanfi. Reset agenda aims to build prosperity at home, not export potential. Vice President. I know his mind, his character and love for Ghana. Akufo-Addo backs Bawumia after MPP victory. Ghana's reference rate for February declines marginally to 14.58% interest rate expected to drop. This brings the end of AUTV Morning News. Up next, Pulse News. Thank you.